This is Garrett J. White, the authentic entrepreneur, coming at you real, coming at you raw, coming at you relevant. Okay, let's be serious. I don't really have any muscles, but here it is. This is the daily download, and we're going to talk about principle number 4 here at the Pay to Play Academy, which is possibility expands choice. But before we do that, guess what we got to bring out? Sing it with me, sing it with me. It's kind of like watching those Mickey Mouse shows with my daughter, and they say they need a tool, and they all sing it together. Oh, toodles. Now, if you're over the age of 40, you don't have kids on the age of whatever. Okay, here we go. We're bringing in the handy-dandy flip chart, handy-dandy flip chart. Ready, set. Man, every single time, I just love it. Excites me. So principle number 4 in the Pay to Play Academy is that possibility expands choice. So let's talk about this in a couple different ways. So there's a training, specific sales training, and an influence training that I have gone through for the last couple of years called NLP. Now, NLP is known as neuro-linguistic programming. But one of the principles taught in neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, is the idea of a dilemma and what truly constitutes a choice. So I want you to look at the following. If I sit in a situation in which I am faced with two choices, an A or a B, we could call this a choice between this or that. Okay? What I experience in a this or that conversation is a dilemma. Now, the word again is dilemma. Now, why do I experience a dilemma? Because in that space, I am forced to choose between one of two options. Now, the other side of this, though, is looking at what might take you out of a dilemma. So in today's download, what I'm going to introduce to you is the possibility that in your life, choice only expands where 3 or more options are available. That anything less than 3 options becomes a dilemma. It is either good or it is bad. It is right or it is wrong. It is this or it is that. But what happens to the mind when you open it up to see choice through greater expanded possibilities by adding a third, a fourth, or a fifth option? So as I sit in a situation between A and B, but I add a C, what I see now is a bundle of choices. And consider that agency never begins until you have 3 or more choices. Because all that exists in before that is a dilemma. And in a dilemma, it is rooted with fear, rooted with guilt, rooted with shame, based on which choice you make. And it is constantly putting yourself in a place in which if all I have is A or B, then my desire is to make A wrong so that I can move to B and have B be right. Or I move to A having it be right and B being wrong. So to get out of the right-wrong game, to get out of the game that creates constant dilemmas within our minds and our hearts, and ultimately, in my experience, compresses my ability to choose. It doesn't expand it, it closes my eyes down. Now, I noticed this with my daughter. My daughter's almost 4 years old. If I got my daughter a choice and I say, would you like a blue popsicle or a red popsicle? Particularly Otter Pops are the favorite in our house. If you'd like a blue Otter Pop or a red Otter Pop, she is like, When I introduce a third choice and I say blue, red, or yellow, all of a sudden she is content with taking one of them. But when I put this or that, she constantly is in a dilemma of wanting both or unhappy with any of the choices that she makes. Choice begins at 3. Say it with me. Choice begins at 3. Say it with me. Choice begins at 3. Say it with me. Choice begins with 3. And here's the deal. Possibility, which is the opportunity to create something different in your life, begins at choice and expands at choice. And consider that choice begins at what? Begins at 3. Choice begins at what? Begins at 3. So down low, chime in. Let us know where choice has been a dilemma for you, where agency's been contracted, where choice disappeared, and how you're going to go about adding a third option, a third choice to expand the possibilities you see in your life. My name is Garrett J. White, and this is the Daily Download.